Alright, fantastic. Looks like we're live. Alright, so yeah, time to do a little work in the 360. I kind of wanted to figure out how to build a set for this car, so I figured I'd just live stream it and kind of talk about what I'm doing. I kind of got the wing cars mostly figured out, so I'm going to see what translates from that and see if I can apply it to the wingless car. I know the cars are the same thing, only different, but alrighty, let's get that Volusia set in. For right now, I'm just gonna go out and run a couple laps because it's been a while since I've done this combo, so I'm gonna have to kind of refresh myself on this. So I'm hoping I can build a set that's going to be just a little bit more comfortable with not destroying the pace of the 260. If you're wondering why I picked Volusia, this stream is the 2017 Season 2 Week 12, and 360s are currently on Volusia, so I figured if I decide to actually race the car, I've got a set built for it. I'm going to attempt to build a set. Come week 13, when the new build comes out, I'm going to probably do some other setup stuff with the other cars. I have a feeling that maybe the late model is going to get a big update because they pretty much every patch did updates to it, and then reverted some and took some back, and I don't know what they're doing. So hate to put the time in to show a bunch of stuff for the late model and have it be completely irrelevant in about 6 days. So. For the weather, obviously nighttime weather, and it's iRacing default. I think track state's set at like 20%. Just because right now I'm just looking to build a stable set on the tacky surface, and then I'll probably go back later and adjust for slicker setups. Usually slicker setups, I'll add maybe a click or two of crossway, take away click a stagger, something like that. So it's usually not major changes. Okay. I think I got it down pretty well now. So my fastest lap is a 15.654. Alright, let's see what we're gonna do here. Oh, the stream's lagging, isn't it? I hope it's not. Could just be me lagging, I'm not sure. Oh, I got the preview window up, so I'm going to turn that off just to make sure if the stream lags a little bit. Let me know as soon as possible. I'm going to try to check the chat every time I park the car, just to see if it's lagging or not. It is, like, YouTube's buffering on my screen, but I don't see any of the video, like, ripping and tearing. Know what that looks like. So, okay, so first thing I want to try out is I actually want to remove some of the rebound stiffness, and I'm talking out of every single corner of the car, because removing overall rebound is going to stiffen up the car a little bit. So basically what I want to see is, how does this change the car? Does it make it too tight? Does it help it hook up a little bit better? Does it help it get the power down? Does it get the power down too quickly where I can't get the car to do what I want it to. So I just went down on every single rebound just to see what it's going to do. So the 360 and the 410 I actually use pretty low rebounds, and it helps the car get hooked up a little bit sooner. So what I'm going to test is just to see, well, does that translate to the wingless car? A little too wide there. It doesn't feel bad when you nail it, like, correctly, but, like, I notice I am fighting it a little bit more coming out of the corner. Like, it's a little bit too tight. Thinking I might re-raise the left rear rebound. Yeah, because, like, right there I'm nailing it perfectly. Like, I didn't have to fight the car or anything. The car's driving itself. But, like, when you don't get it right, it just doesn't... It's very understeery. Yeah, and I probably need to stop stabbing the brake too. I do that in the late model to get the rear end to rotate, and the late model likes it a little bit better than the wingless car. Yeah, be a little bit smoother on the brakes. It seems to like that to the corner a little bit better. Although that wasn't enough brake. So, I think overall it has helped. Just, they need to just refine it just a little bit. A little bit too sideways in that lap. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm gonna... Okay, so this is like the sprint car goes all the way up. I think we're gonna actually leave that at 6, and I'm gonna leave these the same. Because it kind of helped the car out, but it was just a little bit off, and I think the rebound stiffness controls the understeer and oversteer when you get back onto the throttle, when you start applying full throttle. So it's basically when the transfer of left to right weight happens. Does this have the most influence? Basically, thinking like mid center of the corner. So more of this would mean it's going to be looser when you get on the throttle, and less of this it's going to be tighter on the throttle. Alright, so let's go ahead and save that right now as my baseline. The other thing too I want to check is... Okay. So right now I want to check how many laps is the official series. I believe it's 25, but I'm not sure. It is 25. Okay. Alright, so I'm running telemetry for a reason. That gets you 33. 18. Okay. So for right now, let's just dump a little bit of fuel out. Actually, should I worry about that yet? Actually, okay. Let's keep that in, and then actually what I want to do now is modify the ride heights. So I think now what I'm gonna do is gonna actually swap these torsion bars around. So I'm gonna go like that. Now what is that gonna do to the cross weight? Okay, and then what are the ride heights? Alright. So this gained almost a full percentage of cross weight. So putting that back down to 0 raises it. Okay. So by contrast, that would lower it. Okay. So it's back to 25 gallons, same gear. Now all I'm doing is I am adjusting the ride heights. Video output is low. God dang it. Alright. Guessing this was not a good time to stream. It might be just busy traffic. Do I want to screw with this anymore? Taking weight out. You know what? No, let's just leave it the way that it is right now and just see what the ride heights did. Yeah, let's go one more time. I want to make sure that was a user error, and whatnot, setup error. Feels like it wants to snap around a little bit more on the entry. It's not too bad. A little bit too extra speed there. Ooh, yeah. I attacked the corner a little bit too fast. Wingless car does not like that when you do that. That stupid attenuator. Alrighty, I want to look at the lap times. Okay, so this was my previous run. That's the setup we saved. Why is my stream health constantly low? What the heck is going on? I don't know. I haven't dropped a frame. I think it's just in a lower setting, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. Anyway. So in the previous set we seem to be pretty stable. For here we can hit sixes, but we seem to be a lot more all over the place. So I'm gonna reload that setup. I don't think that's gonna work correctly. Next thing I want to try out is overall rear bumps turned down, so that should keep the cross weight normal. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to test if the overall bump is going to influence the car the way I want it to, of course. Overall, less rear bump is going to tighten the car up when you're on the throttle. So there's a better lap. This setting definitely, it feels, I'm a little bit more confident when I get back on the gas. Definitely like this a little bit better. Yeah, I just slinged it in there and hoping that it would stick, so. So. Stream health went back to healthy. So I don't know if it's actually okay now. Okay, so what were my laps? I had my fastest lap in that, so we have an 8.577, 8.77, 6.5. Yeah, they don't seem too bad. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that. Alright, so what's the total? This is 21 and a quarter to 22 to 19. You are 1450 to 1350. Okay, so you're the lowest it'll go. Inbound is the smallest number, so it is looser on that tire. Okay, so that'll take away that. That'll take away that. No, that will lower cross weight. Okay. So that would be going in the other direction. Okay. Makes sense. You move the wheel out it's going to lower the ride height slightly. More outbound makes it freer, yeah. Okay. Right? More outbound, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Seems okay now. Alright, so this is our setup currently. Let's see here. I'm gonna probably keep that toe. I like that toe in this car. Probably not gonna screw with the tire pressures. Staggers maxed out. It's fine. Oh, okay. That was with 18 gallons in the tank that I just ran. You know, this is a wingless car. Even if I'm gonna remove some of the fuel, you still want that fuel for weight on the back tires, because this car has I don't want to say no downforce, but it has a lot less downforce than the winged sprint cars. Having that weight on the rear tires is gonna help the rear tires grip, because you don't have any tires on those giant rubber tires, and it's gonna basically develop a mind of its own. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some fuel back in, and even though 22 gallons is more than enough, that'll get me 35 laps. According to my fuel numbers, 35, 36 laps. Even in a 25 lap race with as crazy as the wingless cars are, I think that's good. For now, I'm not going to adjust the gear. I don't think the gear needs to be adjusted. You could try a 511. 511 might be really good for this car. Okay, so you are the highest you can go, but I can make you go higher. Okay. So it keeps the cross weight the same. And just overall raises the front end. Okay. Just curious to see what that does to the front end of the car. I almost used those torsion bar stops as almost like perch offsets. I don't know if that's the right way to go about it or not. Front seems a little bit more stable going into the corners. It doesn't react so hard to the braking as much before. So I could be a little bit more aggressive with the brake. Probably don't even need to brake. Well, I don't want to lift off completely because the wingless car does not like that. gets really upset really quickly. I'm just not consistent in my line and my lap times. Wingless car isn't easy, that's for sure. That's user error right there. That's not set up fault. Now I can't drive. Come on. There you go. Now that feels good. This is my fastest sector 2. Nice. Again. Whew. Boy, this car's a workout. Although this one's not as bad as the not as bad as the 410, that's for sure. Alright, I haven't gotten another note saying that the video output was low, so I'm guessing the stream's fine. I don't know. But overall, I think I like that change. It kind of tied down the front end a little bit. It doesn't make the front end so snappy, but it feels like I could still put the car where I wanted it to, and lap times kind of show it, where I kind of go to the 8, 7, 6, 7, 7, 8, 6, you know, but then like once I got used to the set a little bit more, there I am, like 6, 6, 7, 6, 7, you know, a little bit into the 8, but you know, like I think these were the laps I couldn't drive the freaking car right anymore. Just had a brain fart halfway through there and had to work through it. I think 15.58's a pretty good time. Have to check the results screens. But yeah. Let's save that as my main set. Okay. It's gonna tighten it. That's gonna... Okay, so what I'm doing here is So I want to see how adding basically a quarter inch to each one of these tires, how that influences the handling, because it apparently doesn't change the cross weight. And it doesn't change the ride heights. So what does it do to the car? Should go a little bit more extreme. Nah, let's just stick to that now. I should feel the effects pretty easy. Now the car's angry. Yeah, I don't know. Just car doesn't feel right now. Wheel spacing definitely makes it feel a lot different. I don't think I like that too much. That's okay. We did some trial and error. That's all that matters. We found out it didn't work. It might work if you adjust the settings a certain way, but it's not working for me right now. So, oh well. So if I adjust the diameter up there, that adds crossweight. Okay. Curious to see what that would do, because this is just raising the car overall. Pretty close to what it was before. So basically now I'm only adjusting the rear end ride height just to see what it would end up doing to the car. Sorry about that. I keep checking back. I'm like paranoid now because earlier for about 10 minutes my video quality was poor, and then now it's fine. But you know, I'm like paranoid that it's gonna go back. So anyways, like I was saying, right now I'm getting the crossweight close to where it was before. Might not be the easiest thing to do. And what I'm trying to do is I'm only trying to check how the ride heights influence the rear end of the car. With that, this might play a factor in it. So that's okay. We're just trial and error right now. I mean, I am confident that the setup I have saved is pretty good. So, just trying to do different things to see if I can find a little extra speed out of it. Much looser on entry. It might be because of that wheel space. I'm not sure if it's the right height. It's too sensitive. It's way too sensitive on the entry of the corner. I can't get it to do what I want it to. So okay, let's just only do the ride heights and not the wheel spacing too. So let's just see what the rear ride heights do to the car. Oh, that's the wall. Yeah, I don't think I like that rear end. I don't think I like the butt hanging up in the air. It just doesn't feel right. Okay. So I'll put the rear end back down. Which leaves me to wonder what would the car be like if I lowered the back end. So that would add. Perfect. And so let's see here. 10.89, 12.86, 12.88, 12.86. So it's at the same level. But that being said, how does it change? Does it change the car in any way? Only one way to find out. Almost saved it. Thing is, too, is I think the track's drying out too. So I don't know if my lap times are something to base my time or base the set off of. Because once you drive about 100 laps on the track will actually start to change a little bit. So I guess right now I think that my best thing to do is kind of look for the consistency and. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't really notice a difference in the, too much of a difference. Oh, whoa, whoa. I hit a bump as it was braking, and man, I didn't know if I was going to get the car back. Probably don't need that brake, but I love how it rotates the car. Although I've noticed in turn 3, I don't really need a brake. The car can rotate itself. But for turn 1, that brake helps out tremendously. Actually, let's see before we reset here.
You're dropping a lot of fluid. We have to fix it.
Yeah, I hear ya. Just trying to see what the track looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's starting to form some slick patches. It's looking like it is drying up, but I don't see any slick patches or anything. Okay. Out of curiosity, how did that change the other ride heights? Just altogether, just lowered this by 1/100 of an inch, so that's not really a big change. Okay then. Let's see. So my fastest lap was a 5.80. So I'm just curious. I'm gonna pull up that results page here. There we go. I'm just curious to see what guys are doing in terms of lap times, because it's Volusia nighttime. So depending on its track state, we had Lewandowski do a 15.692. The only thing I really wish is somewhere on here it would log the track state, because I notice everyone else is like 16s, 15.9. but he's at 16 or 15.6, and that's kind of leaving me to believe that this was a very slick track. So let's look at some other lap times here. 15.7. The weather is a little bit hotter. It's got 16s, and I'm running race fuel in these too. The set saved with 22 gallons. The default's 25. You only need like 17 gallons, but the wingless car likes the extra weight to keep the weight on the rear tires. So there's no point in not doing that. Okay, so here we go. Here's 68 overcast. So this is a very cold session, and the top guys are doing 15.4s. So I'm kind of like in this area here. Okay, it's had 12 people in it. 70 degrees, clear skies. So this is still colder than what I did. We're seeing 15.3. So yeah, I think with this set, it seems like it has the potential to be competitive. And I don't run the wingless car a lot, so that's got me feeling pretty good. 15.446 on a partly cloudy 71. My 5.8 might be in like, whoops, be about mid pack. Let's see, they probably were at Volusia week 2. Yeah. Okay, so these were like the last few days of that week. 15.5s. Yeah, so I mean, like right now, I'm just looking at like lap times to just see how I stack up against the competition that you would realistically take on. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty confident that this setup is pretty good. So I'll leave it up on screen here so you can get a good look at it. I didn't touch the stagger. The stagger's already maxed out. Well, I can go down really low in the stagger. I would say when it's slick, when you got like a nice, thick, rubbered up part, I would go down probably a click or two to keep the car stable. Because the wingless car, once it hits that slick patch, it's gone. So you want something to give you a little extra. Give you a little extra leeway, you know. With less stagger, it's gonna tighten up the car. So if you hit a rubber patch, it's not gonna immediately spin out. From the baseline, yeah, from the baseline, I adjusted these torsion bar stops, and what that basically did. Let me just load up the Volusia set. So this was at 15.05, 16.86. Now they're about 2/10 higher. So I added 2 clicks to this, and I subtracted 2 clicks from that. And this raised the front end about 2/10, and it kept the same cross weight. And because of that raised front end, the car is going to react less to the braking, and it was allowing me to slide the car more into the corners. The biggest issue that I was overcoming was when I got on the brakes, the car wanted to snap basically into the pit road. With that little extra ride height, it doesn't want to do that as badly. So I felt like I was more consistent with it. And I think a side effect of that too was, yes, with screwing with these ride heights and screwing with the torsion bars, it did end up adding a little extra click of toe. I know in the late models, and I think the 360s like this too, 410 winged. I'm not sure yet because I haven't done a lot with that. You're usually using about negative 4/16, 3/16 minimum, at the very least. I've heard some late model guys going even higher than that. Um, Going to the shocks. Overall, I lowered the rebounds on the left front, and right rear. I left the left rear alone, so they all went down one click, or it'd be two clicks actually. So I lowered them from these from 5 to 4, this from 6 to 5, and I had this at 5. I didn't like it. I put it into 6, and I was getting more consistent, so I kept it. And the theory behind that is less rebound in the car is going to tighten up the chassis a little bit. So while that might affect your entry just slightly, the whole idea is it'll help the car get the power down coming out of the corner. It's going to tighten up the chassis. The chassis is going to straighten out faster on the exit of the corner, and you're able to get the power down rather than letting the wheels just sit there and spin. You're actually getting the car to hook up. I left the wheel spacing alone. I could not find a setting right now. I may or may not screw with it later, that fit this car a little bit better. Even little adjustments such as one click up on each side just made the car feel erratic and a little bit unpredictable. So I just decided against it. And then I just took some fuel out, but I didn't take out all the fuel that you need. According to iAnalyze, I got this on the overlay one, right? Yeah. So the official series is 25 laps, and you can see if you put 17 gallons in, you're going to get about 28 laps. Let's see, 16. So yeah, you realistically probably only need about 16 gallons, but I'm going to leave 22 in because I'm removing 3 gallons, but I'm going to use that extra, it'll be 6 gallons, to help keep weight on the rear tires. The rear tires is how the car gets grip, because this car does not have a lot of downforce, so you have to depend on the overall car weight. And that's why I did that. Other than that, I didn't even screw with the rear end ratio. I didn't feel a need to. However, I feel like a 511 is a very good gear to try. In fact, before I end the stream, why don't I go ahead and do a couple laps on the 511 just to see what it's like. I may end up liking it better, but overall, that's all the changes that I did. The stream's under an hour, and I made what felt like a pretty competitive set. So let's just test rear gear. I mean, rear gear testing is so easy. Yeah, the main difference I'm seeing is, when the track is still got some grip in it, like, the track's drying out, but it's not lost all of its grip yet, so you don't see dry patches yet. Doesn't really change the way that the car handles too much. I would say when the track is slick and rubbered up, you'd still want the 509, but I'm kind of thinking, yeah, maybe the Tacky's good for setting qualifying times and laying down a good lap time. It's not now just because there's 100 laps on the surface and the racing line is starting to really dry out, so the car's starting to struggle finding its grip. I could still get in the 15s if I, shut up here. There we go. That's in the 15s, but I'm really struggling on that racing line to keep it tied down. If I reloaded this session, I could probably run in the 15.5s, but I don't think I'm gonna do that right now. See right there, I tied my sector 1, so yeah. I would say 511 or a 509. Just test out both and see which are comfortable for you. Whoa, holy crap. See that wreck again. What the fuck? It like... Yeah, there's that little cut in the there's this little cut right in the graphics, though. That's interesting. They didn't fill in that little piece of graphic. What the heck? Just grab that and whee. Okay. So yeah, let's put that back on chase. You could probably see a difference. Let's go to far chase. Let's go back to a lap I actually completed. So right there is the track in basically its current state, and then here it is on one of my more recent runs, or one of my better runs. You can still see the moisture in the track. So yeah. So with the 100 laps on it, the track is starting to change. So, but I'm still getting in the sixes and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much convinced that the 511 is also a very viable option for Volusia. Okay, so I'm gonna give another quick look at the set, and then I will go ahead and end the stream. If you enjoyed, I thank you for watching. Thank you very much, and have a great day.